Okay, so everybody, welcome Team Thrive. We're going to go through how to set up your own customized personal newsletter that actually Optavia provides for you every single week. And all you need to do is put together your email list one time, add your new clients each week as you go to send it out, and you'll be all set up. So I'm going to share my screen and show you guys what that would look like. Okay, so here we go. I'll play it. We'll switch over. The little menu bar is in the way right now. Go. It will go away. Okay, so anyway, when you first start your newsletter, this will open up in a second here. There we go. In your Optavia Connect, in the tab Share, you may have never played around in Share. There's a lot of those tabs up there at the top of our homepage. And a newsletter is put together for us every Monday. And it's available generally first thing in the morning. It's one of the first things in my calendar on Monday mornings to do is send out my weekly newsletter. And it always has a few components in it. It'll always have the masthead of the Optavia Healthy Habits. And then it always has an educational piece, which generally is going to tie right into one of our elements in our life book. This is this week's newsletter, and it's element 21, Do You Need to Supplement? It's getting towards the end of the life book, and Dr. A is teaching a lot of really refined optimizing health skills, and that's what the topic is on this one. There will always be a recipe and a picture. It's always very enticing, and then there'll be a success story in there of a client that's legitimately done program and was willing to share their success story. So really valuable things, and we don't have to do the work with it. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is go to your personal Optavia Connect. And I'm doing the first part of this as slides because I'm trying not to have other people's names and volumes and things like that pop in here. So I've done these with screenshots. But if you log into your Optavia Connect, and you are going to go to the Client Support tab. And underneath the Client Support tab, you see the arrow pointing to Clients Report. As you scan down, it actually will turn green. Select that. And when you do that, your frontline clients will pop up. So this ended underneath the category titles, but underneath that, when you run the report, it automatically infills all my clients. And it will infill all your frontline clients. And that doesn't mean people that have ordered this month. It means anybody that's ever ordered from you. So you're able to stay in touch with inactive clients and just put a little reminder in their email each week of how awesome it is. Some people use it for their recipes. Some people just use it for encouragement, and you will be surprised how many people reach back to you later on, months later, years later, and say, hey, I've been getting your newsletter and I've been thinking about it. I need to come back on program. Okay, but you just need your frontline, and it's in green. If you had highlighted, if we went and we clicked on organization, it would show you all the clients in your organization. If you have other coaches, it would show all their clients. I don't send my newsletter to my coaches' clients. I try to help all my coaches know how to send a customized newsletter to their clients. Sometimes I'll send one out for a short time while they get their feet on the ground, and then we'll transition them over to their own. But you just want to run your frontline clients, okay? After you run those, okay, this is the only tricky part. You see the arrow going across to send a message center? You want to send a message center. You do not need to do anything else. You don't need to download, don't need the CSV file, anything. Just send a message center, and voila. It's going to invite you to name your list. I name mine Master Newsletter List. I put test beside it so I don't get it mixed up with my real list that I'll show you in a minute. So name it something. Some people run the list every month or every week, and just because it's so easy to just run the list and send it each week. I don't, because every now and then somebody, for whatever reason, will ask to opt out. And I guess because of my training in another business, when people ask to opt out from newsletter lists, we are supposed to take them out. So I always go in and pull the names out. If somebody does opt out, Optavia doesn't take them out. We take them out of our own list, okay? So you name your list, and then you're going to go back to the home screen and select share. See that? It's like home, client support, engage, share. You're going to select that. And then now I'm going to stop sharing this, and I'm going to go live and show you what comes next. That was easy, wasn't it though? How easy was that? Now your list is already moved into share, and I'm going to show you how to get there. So if I go over here, this is what share looks like. If you click that button that said share and you go here, it'll open up this area of your Optavia Connect in your back office. Oh good, I was clicking to make sure it stayed live for us. So there's lots of other things in here. You actually can do your daily text starting a new client right here in Optavia Connect. I actually prefer to send them myself because I like to sometimes put their name at the beginning. And our messages in our, actually, honestly, our messages in our New Coach app are slightly different than the ones the company sends. And I really like how ours are really fine-tuned to what message we want to give directly to our clients, okay? So anyway, when you go here, you're going to click newsletter. And there's a master library that'll pop up, and you can see even historic ones. You can see ones that have been done before. You can go into the overall library and check out all these things that you have in here. So when we have like the transformation stories to share, we have the Wednesday night, how it's a health calls, which is right here, community time and inspiring stories. Here are the logos that you see that we publicize on Mondays and Wednesdays to let people know about what's coming up. But right now, let's go back and let's just look at newsletters. Okay, it might not let me go back, but it just doesn't matter because it's right in this also. It is right here is this week's newsletter that was there bright and early this morning. So this is what comes up when you click the newsletter of the week, and it's over here on the side. I can't read that, right? Well, I like to always read it before I send it out to my clients. I pick preview. This is just saying that some personalization doesn't show in the preview, as in on the bottom where it has the coach's name that's sending it out, it doesn't customize. Like down here, it doesn't have my name yet. But when it goes out, trust me, that is all updated. It will be directly from you. So Michelle Setter, you do this process and you send it out. It's going to be cool. It's going to have you right there at the bottom of the newsletter, and you get full credit for this. So this is the awesome newsletter that's going out. One reason that I like to read it is I used to send the newsletter out, and it defaults to like in the subject line of people's emails, it defaults to Optavia Healthy Newsletter, which is totally fine. But in watching the analytics, I just found that it didn't get opened as often as when I do a little teaser line in there. So I will tend to go in and look at what the teaching element is. So this says, do you need to supplement? So I keep that in mind now as I go back, and I'm going to get started. So I previewed it, and now I'm going to just click get started over here in the corner. This title is just for your reference. So for this, I would put like October number 2 of 2020, because I'm going to be doing this for a billion years, and if I want to go back, I want to make sure I know what year it was. So this is just for your reference. That does not go to the client. This one here, though, that's the subject line that they'll see. So that's the one I tend to change to, how about it's to supplement or not to supplement. So you can change it to something that you think they're more likely to read, okay? So now I've got my subject line that'll show up in my client's email, and I see the little icons. Here's what you can do with it. You can Pinterest it, Facebook it, tweet it, copy it, you know, all these different things. So right here, we're gonna go to email it. Okay, now when you're at this screen, you go to add from address book, because when we went in and created our list and named it, it went to your address book. Okay, these are all the individual people's names. So when you see that, don't worry, you won't find it right there, but over in the corner, right now we're in the individual contacts list, all the different people that have ever been my client, and I'm gonna click groups. And that's why what you name it is super important. My normal master newsletter list is right here that I send out each week. I build from that. The one that I did for our example here is called test. So if I click on that, my test group, go down to add selected, ta-da, there are all my names. You guys, all I would need to do now is click send now, but I already sent it to everybody earlier today, so I'm not going to do that again, okay? But that's how easy it is. Now, instead of doing that, I want to show you something else. If I go into, so that was the master library. These are all the things Optavia creates for us, and there's all kinds of cool things. And the newsletters, I'm sure soon will be supporting, helping clients focus on staying healthy through the holidays and making choices that support their goals, even though there's lots of temptations, but there's also lots of holidays. We can't just change our goals and go off program because there's a holiday, right? Okay, so if I say I go into, you can see I've sent some of these out to pre-clients and different things like that too. And I'll show you, I'll talk about that in a second. Don't let me forget somebody there. So if you go in here, if you go back and you look at one you've already sent out and go to activity, this is super, super cool. Okay, when you go in here and scan down, I had 271 recipients on this one so far, 15% viewed it. You don't have clicks because there really aren't live links in this. Nobody opted out. Says it didn't get caught in spam. I do know sometimes they get caught in spam, so I don't know what that means. But look down here. I can see how many times people clicked it. So you can see, you know, sometimes it's like that person hasn't ordered forever and they've gone in and clicked 4 times. This is a bad example. This must be the one that just, oh yeah, it's the one that just went out. So there aren't as many clicks, but almost always there's somebody that's opened it a whole bunch of times, and almost always there's somebody that I haven't, that I don't have currently even on program. So I know to go on and reach out to them. So that is a pretty fun thing. You can see if one's bounced, if they had bad email addresses, people you'd want to check back with, people that viewed it, get a list of the names. So you can, yeah, this one just didn't, I mean, got busy people on a Monday. Haven't looked at much. Here's one, she looked at it twice. So anyway, that is how we do that part with the newsletter. So this is my library of things that I've sent out. There's a lot more. This is just some of the newsletters recently, actually. And so I want to show you one. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and just talk for another second here. So first of all, let me go back here. So, okay, first of all, does anybody have anything else to add or any questions? It can seem like a lot of like craziness, like how do I find all these things? But I really tried to make that really step by step by step, and then video, you know, live, do it live with you once I didn't have a lot of individual people's names and volumes and things like that in there. But are there any other questions, anything that you feel like I missed in there? Carla, I know you had a couple of suggestions. Okay, so the other thing that you guys can do with this, so each week you want to add your new clients. So I just go and I open up my master newsletter list that I showed you that I built, and I click on that, and then I could actually go in and show you this, but the list pops up and right above it, it says add. Push the add, you put the person's first name, last name, email address in, and you select, oh, should I go do this? Let's see if I can go back into that real quick here. Okay, so let me see. If I were to go back to the library, and let's say I'm going to, where's that newsletter at again? Here we go. So when you go to do this, move people here, get started. Title, I'm gonna just like get through this. We'll skip this part. We rename that, but we're not gonna do it now. But when I get back to the mail, and I've added from my ad, this is good review, right? Go back to groups. And if I opened up my group, here's my test for today. Add selected. You can add more people. So you can add more people from your contacts list. Wait, that's not the way it usually opens, actually. This is what happens when you add. something in the educational component that you didn't practice first. So anyway, go into the email. I know you can add it right here. And if I have my list, thank you. And group. Okay, if I open up my group, we must have to go back farther than that. I'm sorry, it's actually really easy. I'm gonna have to do like a PS on why I can't add that. Here we go, add contact. Oh, here, that'll do it too. So you can put their name in there and their email and add and close, and it'll put it in your contacts and you can add it into your list. But actually, when you do it real time and you're going through it, before you send it, you can add people to that, to your contacts list. I feel bad I didn't show you that very well. Okay, there. Okay, so when you go directly into contacts, and I've got my groups, these are all the names that are in this particular group. So if I wanted to add somebody, I could just push the plus, add contact, first name, last name, email address. You really don't need a company. You don't need your Optavia ID or theirs. You want to select a group. It asks you to reselect it. So you'd select that test group. I don't know why it does that. It's kind of like double asking you to confirm it, and then you save it. Okay. So you would add those before you sent it. Okay. The other thing you'll see I have here is a master pre-client list. Now I am going to stop sharing. Okay, that got a little confusing because I didn't practice it first, but it's just when you're in your contacts, it's very clear how to add another person to that group. So this last week, I did a post. You can go back and look at my page if you want. And I just said, hey, who wants to be added to my healthy newsletter? You know, free weekly recipes, tips, and success stories, something like that. And then when people go, I do, it's great. When somebody first says I do, a lot of people flood in there. I've got 25 names I've added so far, and I have at least another 10 that I need to get back to. But the important thing is, first of all, one of the purposes of it is for me to create relationship. We are in a relationship business. It's really not just to send them a newsletter weekly. That's probably not going to get me anywhere in finding out what their personal goals are, right? So I respond to every single person. Like I ran into them in a grocery store and they said, hey, I want that newsletter. So I like their comment, and then I write in there, hey, I'll send you a message. That's awesome. I'll private message you. I'd love to share it. I'll message you. And even though it seems redundant, like I think I had like 80 comments in that by the time I went through them all. I mean, by the time I talked to them and back and forth and everything, maybe it was 70, I don't know. Felt like 200. You know, plan a little time to do it because it's a little work that way. But it's those backside conversations in Messenger that are the really valuable part. I had 3 share calls that I've gotten scheduled from doing those. People just saying, I really got to take off the 15 pounds. This COVID thing's been killing me. And those are really things that I'm hearing. And I know I'll have even more people that'll raise their hand as I continue just chatting with them. I went to their Facebook page first. Sometimes I didn't even know who they were. Then my Facebook friend, I'm like, yeah, I need a little refresher. Who's this person? And then I could say something personal to them, like something on their page. Because you know, when you like something on their page and make a little comment, make sure you make a comment, they'll see what you put in newsfeed, and they'll get it delivered to their newsfeed. So Facebook's like, oh, those two want to talk to each other. She talked to her, so we're gonna give her message. So that's really important to do that. And if one of you, I don't remember who it was, actually I think I do remember who it was, said they did that recently. They went in and they checked somebody's page and they're like, can't like that, can't like that. Oh, I can't comment, oh gee. You know what? They're probably not gonna be a great candidate client for you, right? If there's somebody that you just really can't connect with on any level. And that does not happen very often. But you got to be true to yourself. If they're in there talking about something that you like disagree with or just can't relate to or whatever, don't feel like you need to be. In fact, you always want to be true to you. You know, don't even worry about that one. Just go on to the next one. But anyway, so I go in there and I just say, hey, Kathy, love to send you my newsletter. Let me know what email is best. And what are some health goals you're working on? There's a thing called law of reciprocity. When you give somebody something, they feel like they need to give you something, reciprocate back to you. And they always answer the question. They always give me a little bit of insight. Oh, and a lot of times their safe answer is what? Oh, I'm just looking for some recipes. Oh, that's really cool. Like, and just start, you know, take pressure off them and just start other conversations. But the big purpose of it is the chat. So I keep 2 lists. Some coaches do this different. You guys need to figure out your own dance. Some people put them right in with their client newsletter. I like to keep them separate. I don't really know why. I guess because sometimes I'll send a different message. I'll do a full email that doesn't have anything to do with the newsletter to my clients that maybe isn't quite appropriate to pre-clients. So I like to keep those separate. It's like, Sally, it just said you're bouncing out and back in. Okay. Anyway, so that's how I manage it. I keep 2 separate lists. And if the pre-client becomes a client, I could take them out of a list and put them in the other, or actually I can leave them there because, well, I'm probably going to move them. They would get the same newsletter on the same day, but they might get some extra communication that's not as appropriate. Okay, that is everything from A to Z on doing a newsletter. And I promise you, my 2 lists that I send out, between them over 400 names, does not take me 5 minutes. And I always do it from my computer. It's the one thing I don't ever do from my phone. I do most of my coaching from my phone, but I don't even know how to do it from my phone. That would be another whole training then. Any comments? Any questions?
Yeah, thank you. That was really thorough. And I do it from my phone and it's super easy.
Is it? Okay, great.
Yeah.
I should try that.
I just did it from my phone today too, because I had to, and it worked fine.
Good. That's great, because we always have our phone with, and it's not always easy to have our laptops with, right? Michelle, have you ever sent one out before? Can I put you on the spot? Can you unmute? She's like, where's that little button? There, she did it.
I had to get back to my other page. No, I haven't sent one out yet.
Okay. Did that seem clear enough that you feel like maybe you played that?
Well, I'll just go in and try to follow the directions. And if it does, then I'll reach out to you.
Great. Oops, I'm going to stop recording because this part doesn't need to be recorded.